How do you feel about making a mistake? Do you roll with the punches and get back up, or do you shut down? Across the Spider-Verse answers this question through Gwen's character arc. Let's take a deeper look, shall we? Now, just like with Peter Parker in the comics, Gwen has to deal with her fair share of tragedies, having to cope with the loss of her mother at a young age. At least that's what the comics say. Gwen's other tragedy, and also her biggest mistake, comes with the death of her dimension's Peter Parker, caught up with her own double life that she couldn't see the signs of him struggling. On top of that, she's dealing with the fact that it was her doing, mirroring the comic Peter Parker dealing with the loss of Gwen. Both tragedies happen not by a fit of rage or a loss of control, but not knowing their own strength, learning the hard truth.
You can't always save everybody.
In Peter's case, Mary Jane helped with the tragic loss of Gwen, and despite all of the anger and sadness that Peter was carrying, Mary Jane was always there to check in on him. Mind you, this was before they were dating. If you want to know more about the good old days of Mary Jane and Peter Parker's relationship, then I suggest you click this video right here or go into the description. Unlike Peter, this is Gwen's first superhero tragedy. For her, this is a combination of an Uncle Ben moment and the loss of a friend mixed all into one. Gwen shrinks into herself with no one there to advise her like Mary Jane did for Peter. This results in her avoiding others.
And I don't do friends anymore.
Causing her to leave the Mary Janes, the band that she was in, who mostly want to see her open up.
Don't tell someone what's going on. You're gonna snap.
This is something that she can't do because she'll reveal her identity as Spider-Woman. I almost said Superwoman. This is especially a problem when dealing with her dad, who is the chief officer for the Spider-Woman case, thinking that she's a vigilante who needs to be stopped. And in his view of things, it makes sense. He thinks that avenging Peter's death will help his daughter find closure. For Gwen, it does the opposite, causing more of a headache than anything else. It gets worse when she reveals to her dad that she's been under the mask the whole time. Within this sensitive moment from both parties, Gwen does not get the supportive hand to deal with her past traumas.
Can you just not be a cop for a second and be my dad here?
In this moment, Gwen is truly lost. That feeling is best showcased within the intro music. The bass gets drowned out by the loud drums. And on the outside, Gwen is cold and distant, but on the inside, her head is pounding as loud as the percussion, lost within the void of her own self-guilt.
I don't know how to fix this.
To keep her thoughts at bay, she retreats into her work, finding more ways to work as Spider-Woman over being Gwen. I feel like if I was in Gwen's shoes, I would probably do the same thing. I didn't want to deal with the constant sympathies of my classmates. I would think that would be pretty exhausting. Despite all of the destruction that Spider-Woman has done, she's still needed. Gwen still believes she can get back up even when it's hard, even if she's not emotionally ready to talk about her mistake. Spider-Woman can still save others. And when Miguel and Jessica come into town, she feels she has a sense of community once again. More so with Jessica, who is the first female Spider-Person she's met. The mentorship is a big one because it mirrors the relationship between Peter B. Parker and Miles in the first movie. I can talk about Jessica more in a future video. If you want to see that, let me know. But finding other Spider people means that they have probably gone through similar issues. The disconnect between Gwen Stacy's emotions and Spider-Woman's duties increase, picking the Spider Society over her father, not ready to open up about her guilt, also thinking he will not understand how she feels, pushing away anything or anyone that reminds her of her past, opting to stay busy, and the pain will go away by itself. All that comes to a head when Gwen meets up with Miles again. Now, Miles and Gwen have gone through similar struggles. Both are misunderstood by their parents and struggle to keep things together. I do want to point out that Officer Stacy, Rio,
Using my first name. Okay.
and Jefferson have good intentions, but they're just not on the same page, which is kind of a part of life. Miles was the first person that she became close with after Peter's passing. He means a lot to her. Being the first one, at least on screen, she's opened up to about her problems with her dad. Just like with the first movie, Miles is her support. which helps her take the first steps in stating her fears out loud.
How many people can you talk to about this stuff?
This is an important role that points out Miles's empathetic nature, being the Mary Jane type character, helping her understand
It's all possible.
but we'll get to that a little bit later. Gwen's responsibilities towards her job and Miles start to come to a head when she loses sight of Spot. For Gwen, this is a big deal. She feels like everything is her fault again. And in this fit of rage with herself, she's directed all of her frustrations towards Miles.
I shouldn't have ever come to see you.
Again, this doesn't reflect her true feelings towards him. She's more frustrated that she failed. A couple of scenes later, her true feelings step in. She's seen panicking over the potential loss of him. After the Spot absorbs the collider, Gwen is seen holding his hand, then again panicking trying to find him in the rubble. This mirrors what happened to Peter, and she doesn't want to lose another friend in the same manner. And although Miles did indeed play a hand in messing up a canon event, Gwen was happier that her friend came out safely, and for that reason, this is Gwen's turning point, where she starts to open up her feelings instead of hiding them. How does Gwen overcome her mistake and start to heal? Well, it's thanks to a little help from Miguel. She's sent home to confront her demons, to have a conversation with her dad about what the mask means to her. Most importantly, this is the moment where she snaps. And when we think of a mental snap, we think it's like a bad thing, but in this case, it's actually probably the best thing. She gets to speak out against her fears and feelings towards everything.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Letting yourself feel, once again, being a spider person isn't about repressing yourself to save others. It's about your powers to help the greater good with compassion and understanding. Just like what Peter said to her in the beginning.
Everything's gonna be okay.
Gwen and her father are inherently on the same page. Prior to this, they never had the opportunity to have a deep conversation on this topic. At this moment, it's not just about what is said, it's about how Gwen is able to express her emotions, to be emotionally vulnerable and let those mistakes diminish. The loss of her best friend Peter will never be fully healed, but she's openly ready to try to stop hurting her own feelings and heal. And those conflicting warm and cool colors we've gotten throughout the whole film find harmony with Gwen and her father's embrace, shifting her mindset from I can't fix this to I'm going to fix this. I'm going to find Miles and help him like he helped me. And that's what makes this scene between Gwen and Miles's parents so important. She has the opportunity to escape through the window and avoid them, but she doesn't. She takes this as an opportunity to be supportive, to help them seek understanding. And although she's clearly uncomfortable throughout the whole conversation, she's still trying to comfort them. And I think at the end of all of this, Gwen has shifted her role from being avoidant and absent to a more supportive one, to help the others around her that she deems worthy. And I think that's beautiful. So why is Gwen's story so important? Well, I think it goes back to the ideas of how we all are flawed. We all make mistakes, some bigger than others. Just because we make a mistake doesn't mean we have to hurt our own feelings. But hey, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you learned something, or this put a smile on your face, or this helped you in any way, then maybe consider liking this video or subscribing. And if you want to know how responsibility plays a role in Across the Spider-Verse, then check out this video right here. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Bye.